To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes Build Events and be a part of something extraordinary.
Introducing Tractor USA, the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with zero commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to TractorUSA.com to get started today.
Well, it's right there on your screen right out of the gate. Jeff Wright missing last week. He'll miss this week as well. Welcome in Saturday Night Racing League, live from Gateway, Madison, Illinois. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper. Alongside me here tonight, Connor Horn. And Connor, we already see the 3-point deficit here. Alex Bell just has to start this race. We could have a new points leader from any one of these top 5.
Yeah, any one of these top 5 besides Wright and Carwile, the only 2 of those 5 in the top 5 not here. 5 drivers separated by 20 points. He got 3 drivers separated by 2 points, 3rd to 5th, so it should be interesting. Alex Bell, as long as he has a good run and starts the race, he should be the points leader, but don't count out Noah Mahalski. Let's get that right. Yeah. Noah Mahalski this week. And then also Joseph McWhorter. He could be in a better spot for the points lead if he had a better run last week. He finished 4th. That doesn't tell the whole story about how crazy it was at Chicagoland. He was so close to the victory, but could not get it done. Him and Jacob Bradley, probably one of those 2 should have been the winner. Crash out of turn 4. Ray Massey leads 1 lap and wins that race. Pretty exciting stuff. Massey's another one who's here tonight trying to maybe get closer to the points lead, but it was incredible last week as we look at this track, Worldwide Technology Raceway it's called now. Madison, Illinois, 175-mile race tonight. Very not banked corner in turn 3 and 4, but 1 and 2 very banked. You might see shifting in turns 1 and 2, almost like a mini Darlington, a short track Darlington with long straightaways. It's going to be an odd one tonight, but it should be fun.
140 laps here tonight. That pit road treacherous as well. 3 green-white checkered attempts with 5 sets of tires, 85% fuel. And as always, we're going to be running the iRacing fixed setup for 140 laps, 175 miles here today. But with that, we're setting up to grid now. Let's take you track side and get the numbers up on your screen. And it's looking like more of the same here this week. Well, I'll let you be the judge of that, but I'm excited. Jacob Bradley going to start on the pole here tonight. He gets a 32.877 over Alex Bell in the 2nd spot. Row number 2 belongs to Ray Massey with Ryan Rose in 4th. Row number 3 has Joseph McWhorter and Joshua Banks in the 35. Row number 4, Bailey Turner in the 24 car, Casey Lakatos in 8th. And rounding out your top 10 tonight, it's Kayla Weekly and Angela Horonis.
11th position, just outside that top 10, just a little bit slower than Horonis, was Bryce Shoemaker in his number 43 Chevrolet Camaro. 12th place, Jerry Bergeron, recognizable yellow-orange number 1 in his another Camaro as well. 13th, Noah Mahalski in the 03, the AutoZone sponsored Camaro. Keith Shoemaker, the number 31, a white base with a blue outline, 14th position. 15th place, Michael Sturgill should be a threat, but did not qualify well at all, very far down the order in his number 3. Max Cost, always recognizable, runs every race, 16th place. 17th is going to be Chuck Sweeting in the 75. Didn't qualify. Neither did Edwin Mendez in his second start in this series. And then rounding out the top 20, Michael Kostek and James Loveland.
There's the rest of your field up on the screen. 22 cars. Actually, Shea electing not to take a lap here. Didn't even make the grid. But we're ready to go racing here at Gateway. Race number 8 for Saturday night. Comes by to lead lap number 1. Bradley able to hold on to the pole position. Alex Bell keep to the inside of the exit of 4. And really and truly, a little check up there. The 15 cars left. That's going to be the 24 into the side of him.
It seems like every time he has an opportunity to get a jump on Jeff Wright, it goes all right. That is 2 weeks in a row for Alex Bell. And Bailey Turner, limited starts this season, caught up as well. That was... We were talking about maybe shifting in 1 and 2. That almost looked like a miss shift.
Yeah, he lost a ton of ground, and Massey just didn't have anywhere to go. Let's back it up in the replay. Let's back it up just a little bit more here. We missed just the tail end of that.
Guess he said in iRacing chat he had a screen problem because he is kind of lagged out. He just stops in the middle of the corner. Massey, nothing he can do. And Bailey Turner has nowhere to go, as Alex Bell's quality has dropped.
Yeah, he's out of the session now.
So he
Going
definitely
here.
had some sort of issue.
It's on board with Bailey Turner, and you're going to see it happen right in front. This early, a little unusual. We have problems like this at Richmond, but it's more of a shift issue than it was. Well, I don't know. So the screen cuts out, or does he run VR?
I don't think he runs VR, but it sounded like in iRacing voice chat, he said something about his screen issues. We don't really know what exactly the issue is, but we know he's almost definitely out of this race, out of contention for sure. Opens the door for Mahalski or McWhorter to maybe take the points lead, since 2 weeks in a row, Alex Bell can't capitalize as Bailey Turner is going to come down for repair. New damage model, he should be maybe okay to get that fully repaired, but max cost comes down as well, but already down to maybe 20 cars only, as a very slow start. Lap number 2, first caution.
And we got to rush through that grid, but them guys didn't really change much. Jacob Bradley still up on the point. Ray Massey picks up a spot from that technical issue. Joseph McWhorter 3rd. Ryan Rose, so really not a huge amount of changing, but granted, we only got about a lap in here at Gateway. Big move, though, for Michael Sturgill. And the number 3, he's up 4 spots already.
Not too surprised. It was a really oddly slow qualifying time, about 0.8 of a second off pole speed from Jacob Bradley, so back up to the front. Alex Bell is loaded back in, so maybe he will get back and run laps, but any chance at a decent finish is probably done unless he can get more yellows that he's not involved and get some lucky dogs. But yeah, that 3 car should be fast, should be a threat for a top 3 tonight, but it's going to be tough to pass here tonight.
So we asked about the fireworks pre-race. I talked to Connor and asked him, do you think we'll see more of the same? And I guess my excitement lies with what is going to happen here. You've got the 2 drivers that failed to win the race on the final lap of the final turn, and they're nose to tail for this restart.
And things were pretty cordial afterwards. They both kind of agreed that it was just races, so I don't think there's any hard feelings, but I can't imagine either of them are happy about throwing away top 2 finishes or potentially a win from both their point of views. And the guy on the outside of the 60, this guy who took that win away, Ray Massey, leading only 1 lap. I'm sure Ray's hoping he can lead almost most of the race, majority of the race, and win this one, but you take wins however you can get them as we come to a lap 5 restart.
They don't ask you how, they ask you how many. And Ray Massey would love to benefit again from these two getting together as we go into turn one. We're about to find out how short that memory would be. We're talking about a week ago, Connor, so let's find out. Green flag back out in the air, and we're live and racing at Gateway. Pretty good start there for Bradley. He takes it into one. That's a pretty sizable gap of about 0.3 of a second as they come off of two. They were able to make it through turn one this time, no problems. Side by side back around the 7th position. Weekly gets passed by Veronis.
Veronis should be decently quick tonight. Struggled with long run speed. His last start, I believe, was at Dover. See if he got better fortune. Gateway should be a track that's not the worst on tires, but you're certainly not going to be good on tires. They will wear out pretty decently, especially with how different both ends of the track are as Bradley gets away with the lead. And I do hear him shifting down to third gear. The RPMs get so low through 1 and 2, you almost have no choice but to do so to get that launch down this long straightaway. Momentum, very important at this track.
On board with the 35 of Banks as they go into 3 and 4. And kind of talk about this track being similar to New Hampshire on this second set of corners. You almost have to drive the bottom all the way around it. You can kind of diamond arch, but you don't want to get too high because guys will stick their nose in there and try to get a run off of 4. And you got to put a lot of faith that they won't push up the racetrack.
Yeah, you got to be really careful. I wouldn't prefer running the bottom through 1 and 2. You almost want to run that middle groove where there's almost a little bit of a asphalt patch or like a line over there. That's really where you want to run. I think it's less banking on that bottom of 1 and 2, maybe a little bit. Don't know for sure, but either way, middle 1 and 2, but you'll definitely be wrapping that white line in 3 and 4. Try not to get too much curve though, or else it will jolt your car sideways. You'll probably be in the outside wall off the corner. Got to be very careful.
The battle for third position, still very hot. Ray Massey trying to defend off Joshua Banks, who gets that exit there. He got down to the bottom, not able to do anything with it. We're going to see a lot of this all night long where guys just can't get the pass completed. Looking at the back now of the 23 car. Banks is faster on the entry, but he has nowhere to go with it.
Got to get all the clean air on the nose you can. You can see kind of got that nose a little bit lower than the 23s to get clean air on the nose, maybe get a better exit because of it. Didn't really work out, but like you said, a little faster, a little harder in on the entrance, but he's also trying to push the exit because he really jams the brakes in the center, trying to get that big throttle up off exit. It's not quite working out yet. The 23 is able to hold serve on the podium position as starting to get single file, which is kind of a product of Gateway, as you can almost see the Pilot gas station. You got Pilot Center down the back straightaway. I only noticed that just now, which is funny, but mostly single file. A few battles here and there. Chuck Sweeting moving through the field up the 14th, followed by Bailey Turner, who's trying to recover after that incident with Alex Bell. And by the way, Alex Bell is back on track, but 5 laps down.
Well, we made a pact to not put the 75 car on the broadcast. We're going to try our best to make sure that doesn't happen. But down the backstretch, right on board here with Jerry Bergeron. Well, I thought we could get a look at it. Just kind of interested in the Pilot station you were talking about.
Saw it on one of your static cams. We'll see it later. We got racing to look at right now. As it looks like Banks. That's the most fascinating about it right now because Banks, like you said, he's still a little bit faster, but we're going to see it all night long. Very, very hard to get that pass completed because even if you get under him, it is not a guarantee you get by them.
Well, there's a shot of it. There it is.
It's a Taco Bell over there, too.
Ah.
I think it's a combo. Oh, Banks dove to the inside that time. I think Ray Massey just gave it to him that time. Don't think he wants to fight that 35 early on. You know how aggressive Banks can get. Ray Massey not having any of it.
Some close battles have subsided very quickly. There's Michael Kostick. He's behind Jerry Bergeron for 12th spot. Chuck Sweeting, Bailey Turner, 14th and 15th. Turner is still in recovery mode after that lap 2 incident. And it looks like most of that damage repaired on this machine.
Yeah, it was all nose damage, and nose looks rather clean right now, so should be able to get through the field and maybe get back into a top 10, maybe potentially get into the top 5. Just running that bottom. Sweeting is trying to run that high side, which is a little surprising to me. I don't know if he did that by choice or the 24 stuck the nose down there, but that's two two times in a row, 2 laps in a row, he's tried to run that middle line in 3 and 4. That corner's so flat, almost never going to work. But once again, up the groove, trying to find something up there. It's going to work a little better out of 4 because he got that banking to work with, but had to lift. 24 should have this position.
You got to be careful down that back straightaway. There's kind of a access road back there, the exit to the racetrack, and very easy to get too high up on that straightaway, and that wall finds you pretty quickly.
Pretty sure we've seen trucks in real life flip 20 years ago because of that. In part because of that opening, some nasty hits. Phoenix used to have an opening like that down the back straightaway. They might have even had 2 openings like that. One right directly into dogleg as Sturgill battling with Jerry Bergeron in the background. Bailey Turner just swooped to the inside to get that position from the 1, as it was not Sturgill I was looking at, it was Kostek. Similar schemes almost, as that 3 making a move while the 24 is also making a move.
So 11th position on back is still very heated. 12th rather, Kostek, Turner, Bergeron, and the 56 of Loveland has lost about 4 positions, but he's actually up from where he began this race.
Up 4 positions, might even be 5.
Yeah, but I'm seeing him fall back because he was ahead of Bergeron here for a moment. He's back now to the 15th position.
Yeah, but a good climb so far. It's his first start of the season. Made a couple starts, well, not more than a couple starts. Made some starts last season in the Gen 4 series. This is his first start in the Xfinity series, in the Xfinity car. Oh, it almost looked like he looked 3 wide. Don't really want to try that here, but his first start of the season in a Mustang. So far, so good. As this battle will go away, Mahalski on the outside, getting that run off that higher groove. Sturgill can't make that move work.
So Mahalski up to 9th spot. Told him there was a chance for the points lead. He's going to go after it. This is what he needs to do here, because Bell being 5 laps down, he's out of the picture. Jeff Wright, obviously, and Carlisle not in the picture, so he has a great shot at this. Right now, the way it sits, it looks like he would be really close.
Definitely going to be fun between all those drivers mashed up right next to each other, as Jacob Bradley's not going to be in that conversation because of the races he missed late entry to the season, but he's been a very important entry this season because he's been a factor ever since he started racing in Saturday Night Racing League. He's won 2 of the 4 poles so far. He's led laps in almost every race, been a threat to win all 4 races so far, and it's no surprise he's also running a Lowe's paint scheme week in, week out.
Yeah, I think there's a criteria for that. You have to be guaranteed at least pole positions in order to have that on your car. And Jeff Wright, who's been wearing it all season long, especially last season in their debut, you've seen it at BTDY. We're pretty familiar with seeing that logo up at the top point.
You know, never say never. It's probably unrealistic that he could get into a postseason, a chase position, but he's 25th in points. I believe it's top 10 or top 12. Either way, he's about 80, 90 points off that, so never know. But good results like this go a long way to getting some respect, as still got battles going around all sorts of places on this track. Mahalski will not let Michael Sturgill go, and I feel like Sturgill probably getting a little annoyed at this point. Lacaze is having a good run in 6th. Coronis on the back bumper of that 50, but this is probably the battle that has the most explosive potential right now, because I think the 3 is going to get a little upset. I think so. A little bit of bumper tag in 3 and 4. Mahalski having none of it, though. He is staying strong in that position.
When the 3 car gets up on the bumper but doesn't get the exit, so Mikulski maybe playing a little defense, but the 3 of Sturgill is not really showing that he's going to pull away if he gets around him.
Meanwhile, another battle heating up is for second. Joseph McWhorter, he is not chasing down Jacob Bradley. Bradley up to about a 2-second lead. And 73 struggling as Banks is chased down the 73. Seemingly much faster right now.
And a peek to the inside, all the way to the bottom in 1 and 2.
Ooh. Sorry, Mahalski just hit the wall pretty good, but he kept it straight. So hard to make this pass. You want to throttle up, but you have no room to do so, and that's always going to happen. Just don't have any room to make that bottom line work when you get pinched down. That's why you're seeing guys like Sturgill start using the bumpers, because you almost have no other option here.
So Bradley, McWhorter, Banks, Massey, and Rose the top 5. Jason Lakatos back here in 6th spot. He's still under fire from Angelo Huronis. Caleb Weekly, Noah Mikowski, and Michael Sturgill all within about a second of each other right here. And a dive to the inside now for the 6th spot.
Trying to get stacked up behind the 50. It was saying good run, but not quite looking good. Caustic went out of the groove. Turner's up to the 12th position now at this point, but it seems like that's another thing you got to look out for. I thought the 29 was going to spin in the turn 1. You got to make sure you don't have too much rear brake. Track this flat for the most part, you need to use rear brake to get the car rotated, but a little bit too much rear brake, you're going to go spinning. Lakatos in the wall hard. That was a pretty big hit. So now the 29's clear. There goes Caleb Weekly up into 7th. The 50's going to start to fall off. That was a big hit to the right front, especially as Banks is still not past McWhorter. This is the most crazy battle right now. They're almost looking 3 wide. Sturgill got clear of Mahalski. He should get clear of the 50 of Lakatos soon.
Down the back stretch, still side by side. Now they clear it up. Looks like Lakatos gonna lose another spot, down 1 from where he began the race now. And he's flirting out of going out of the top 10. So this track called the iRacing Service has had many different names, but Worldwide Technologies Raceway, just outside of St. Louis, Missouri, had a number of different configurations as well with the infield track. You mentioned it earlier, Connor, these guys could run the road course config if those curves weren't so tall.
Yeah, it's not a bad road course, but those curbs are giant. As Mahalski and Shoemaker have a little bit of contact. The AutoZone Camaro and the 3-sheet Camaro side by side. That's for 10th at this point, but yeah, there's a road course configuration. If we ran it, we might have been able to see the first Saturday Night Racing League race in the rain, even though the Xfinity cars have no rain tires, so maybe scratch that idea for a little bit. But either way, a lot of good configurations, and as maybe as bland, some people think this track's bland, but don't be fooled. This track produces pretty solid racing no matter what series comes here. As 26 laps down, it's been all Jacob Bradley. 3.2, it's even growing, 3.3 second lead. This is the definition of cruising, I would say.
That clean air being extra beneficial. You can see the 0.5, I believe, there of Carson Marinka in front of him.
You know what especially helps is that the 73 is much slower than him, and no one can pass him. It's starting to become a logjam for second now. McWhorter, Banks, Massey, Ryan Rose even up at a 5th position close by. Last time by, he was about 0.3 of a second slower than Bradley. This gap is going to extend more and more if Banks can't get this past up. Bumper's got to be used sooner or later, I would think.
There it is.
There
again.
it is. Well, that's a big bump.
That shoved him way out of the groove.
Oh, they're going to hit again. That's not going to end well. I thought he was about to turn him there.
It looked like it. I think if he had the fender in there, he was going to do it.
I think he's going to. I don't see this ending well. He's just, you can see Ray Massey in the background. He is letting them race. I think he knows what's about to come, and you don't have a lot of room to avoid a crash here, so I think it is best to just back off.
I wonder if you're Massey and you're seeing this. Oh, man, really sent it in there.
That's a frustration slide job. McWhorter's going to cross him over, but it's actually going to work out for Banks because he's got the preferred line. But this also gives McWhorter the opportunity to maybe, he might be able to just return the favor. Yeah, just maybe. I don't think he's even close enough, actually. That 73 is very off on the long run right now, but that gap to the lead might start coming down now. Banks is finally the second, but the gap's already 4.1 seconds.
That's an eternity at this track. It takes about 34, 33 seconds to get around this place. So we're talking about a 10th of a lap, and Bradley stretching it out a little bit further each time by.
It's hard to build up a half straightaway gap at Gateway, but that's about what he's done. And unfortunately for Alex Bell, he's put Marenka a lap down, so any lucky dog chance out the window for the 15.
How frustrating is it any point here, Connor, that you get some kind of technical issue and you know that the points are up for grabs, you find yourself 5 laps down?
Oh, it's annoying, especially because this isn't the only week where he's had an issue like this. to not gain points when he should have. I mean, he was very, very fast last week, but, you know, miscommunication on pit entry caused an issue and caused him to be out of the race and not get a good finish. So it's incredibly frustrating when you're on a run of bad luck and just losing valuable points. He came back to Dover. He still finished 8th, but he was very damaged. Could have finished a lot better as Turner and Shoemaker make contact. This is for 9th. Mahalski trying to fend off 2 drivers for that position.
He's got a mirror full of both of them, but how about Bailey Turner after restarting back in the 20th position has worked his way up to the top 10, peeking to the inside of Michalski. Almost said it, Mahalski. It's been tough to pass, but some of these guys are extra good at playing defense, and you saw that almost not pay out well for the 73. Michalski is also in that boat, though, where the bumper could be used on him because he's right around the bottom of the racetrack, all the way through 3 and 4. He's pinching the 24 car.
He already played this game with Sturgill and lost. He ended up putting himself into a turn 4 wall. 0-2 doesn't look too damaged, but I don't think Bailey will play around as much either. Probably not too far away from pit stops. Definitely not a 1-stop, so probably around. Everyone's probably around at their window just about now. Not too far away from seeing drivers dive down to that access road. You do have to use that access road. I don't know if it's an iRacing rule, but you literally don't have another avenue in, so I guess you kind of have a patch on pit entry right there, but I don't think you're making that left-hand turn. As Mahalski, good run out of 4 again, holding off this 24.
So now I'm interested to see what green flag pit stops have in store for us. We had that caution on lap number 2. We haven't had any lead changes since the day began, but the top 3 is starting to narrow back up. Banks starting to catch up a little bit here. Last time by, he's about a 10th faster. Oh, I lied. He's a 10th slower this time, so he gives it back.
He might have been a few hundredths slower the lap before, hundredths faster. But yeah, a little slower that time. This opens up a lot of possibilities for Bradley. He can run this as long as he wants, as long as he knows to not go out too long to lose a track position. This looks like a McWhorter pit stop here. He is. So this is early. Well, it's not early. It's around where you would split it up to about even stints. He's going to have to throttle up, get to the very bottom, use the white line, maybe some grass. But the timing line's not until here, so he slammed the brakes there. Hope you get it down to 45 miles an hour. Very tough to do so. That looked fast, but we'll see what he gets. That's the first driver I've seen come down.
Yeah, that might have been a speeding penalty. We'll have to wait and see, but it doesn't look good here from McWhorter. But I've been wrong before. As far as that timing mark goes, you can hit that entry a little hot, but hit the next timing line and you'll be okay. If you slow it down enough, that's going to be close.
And be careful on pit road. That walkway, they didn't get rid of that walkway over the wall. You can hit that. I've done that before. It's not fun. I did it in official. No speeding penalty. He's all good. So great pit entry, it turns out. So he's going to get the jump on he's going to get the jump on everyone because he is still, I believe, the only one to come down. You know, I keep making the same mistake. I thought this was when pit stops would start. It's not true. Because I keep thinking you're doing 3 pit stops. It's a 2 pit stop race. So really, we're still maybe 10 laps away from majority of drivers coming down.
I think you just drove the 73 to pit road.
Maybe, but his tires were wearing so badly, and he was, even though he was still 3rd, but he was really struggling. I wouldn't be surprised if he might try an extra stop. Looking at the tire fall off time-wise, Jacob Bradley's fastest lap, 33.3. He just ran a 35 flat, so that's about 1.7 seconds of fall off over 35 laps.
It doesn't get any better the longer you stay out, so maybe it's one of those instances where...
Oh, crash! Bailey Turner! Carson Marenko just came together! Michael Kostick involved, caution's out. Chuck Sweeting, I think, is okay. He's not. He got big damage on the front, but that was odd. Marenko...
We tried, Chuck. We tried. We tried to keep it off of you, buddy.
Yeah, he has no luck. The 05 just stopped in the middle of the track from what I saw. So much for Joseph McWhorter's strategy. Unless he stayed lead lap, but I don't think he did.
The 24 car exploded on the backstretch.
Well, if he didn't have a front end, if he had front end damage before, he might have to find the front end, but this was really weird. Oh, hard hit. I mean, he hit the wall there. Maybe he had a tire down and tried to pit, but this is... It's almost like I don't know if he hit the brakes or just never throttled up.
He was having some issues, and the 24 of Turner just didn't see him there.
I'm just not sure. I'm not sure what happened. But either way, it's like, yeah, Turner didn't see him, that's for sure. I'm just really weird incident. It's 2 weeks in a row we've had pit entry incidents. If that was a pit entry, I'm not quite sure. But either way, Joseph McWhorter's the odd one out. He'll have to take a wave round, be at the very back of all this, while everyone else gets a free pit stop under caution.
So Jacob Bradley leads him in. Joshua Banks, Ray Massey, Ryan Rose, and Angelo Horonis, the top 5, as they get ready to hit these stalls. 4 tires and fuel, most likely for all these cars. Into the box now for the 60. He's led every single lap here today. And with this caution coming out the way it fell, I think we're going to see a little more of the same. Nobody's really put the heat on him. He had a couple guys challenge him, but no one's really been able to get the edge. And Bradley, after last week, looking for that redemption. It's going to be the 60 off of pit road. Casey Licata stays out on the racetrack. So he'll be the leader as of right now. Not sure if he'll come back down or...
Ray Massey said something happened with his VR, so he's still on pit road trying to fix that. So that's a big blow. A lot of everyone who's high in points not having a great night, aside from Wright, Carwell not being here. Mahalski's ran about 10th or 11th. Bell's been involved in an incident with hardware issues. McWhorter got caught a lap down with that yellow. Ray Massey's having VR issues. Ortega's not here. Shoemaker's running further down. The best driver having a decent night is Joshua Banks, and he's 9th in points, 53 points back. So it's great for him right now. As McWhorter is going to come down, and looks like he's going to elect not to... he probably got the lucky dog, so at least that helps him. He doesn't have to start... Only he doesn't have to start tail end. Well, he does, because there's no wave around. So I don't know what's going on.
Well, while we try to get it sorted out here on V-Speed, you're watching the Saturday Night Racing League live from Gateway Motorsport Park, Worldwide Technology Raceway in Madison, Illinois. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll get this field racked back up for you and go back live and racing on lap 45 here on V-Speed right after this.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
Introducing Tractor USA. The best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable.
Back here live at Gateway, the 60 of Jacob Bradley, who has maintained this lead every single lap, takes the green flag into turn 1. Joshua Banks on the outside of the dive through position. Well, they're back now. Let's see how many we can pick up. Angelo Horonis already gets 2 up on the restart.
Good start for him up the third.
Oh,
There are
wall.
a lot of drivers in the wall. I think Bergeron was one of them that almost hit it. Actually, he got loose on the bottom, but he kept it straight. We'll see what the 29 can do, but we'll really see what Banks can do because he lost a lot of time trying to get second away. Now he's looking after the race lead, looking for the race lead over Jacob Bradley, who's led pretty much all 45 laps. Lakatos might have led 2, but it's been all Jacob Bradley until now, maybe.
Well, we've already seen him use the bumper once. Now he's putting the pressure on the 60 car. Looking off the back of Bradley, he hasn't really had anyone contest him yet. McWhorter was on the bumper a few times, but never really had the chance. And so Bradley's going to have to be perfect here with this line. You can see McWhorter, he's getting that jump on the entry and exit.
And Banks getting the majority, getting the jump
Sorry
on
about
entry
that.
and exit. But
Yeah.
it's like a reality check for Jacob Bradley. You know, all of a sudden, you cruise in 5-second lead, getting ready for pit stops. All of a sudden, bam, restart, and this guy's all over you, trying to pass you, and almost looking faster. You got to completely shift the mindset, and you got to get back in the zone because you might have been just lollygagging, might have been, all right, yeah, this is cool. Now you're back in the fight, and you're having to fight someone off. So you really just got to re-rack and restack and lock back in. There's a lot of changes. Obviously, McWhorter's fighting back. Pat got trapped a lap down, got the lucky dog, back up to the fight for 9th with James Loveland, but not yet clearing him. Also, Ray Massey had issues with VR, so now he's 2 laps down in 17th. That only leaves 16 drivers on the lead lap.
That's 2 technical issues here tonight. Alex Bell 4 laps down as well. He's back in the 18th position. Bailey Turner with heavy damage. He's 19th. Carson Marinka, I think he's still on pit road right now, getting some more damage fixed.
He's on pit road. Turner has gotten back out. He's also 4 laps down along with the 15 of Alex Bell. So it leaves us with, Marinka's going to come back on track. So we still have 20 of our 21 starters running. Our only DNF is Chuck Sweeting, which just is on par with how his season has gone so far. As good battle for 4th, Ryan Rose, Michael Sturgill. There was a little bit of controversy last week with a few incidents with Sweeting, also with the 15 and the 33 of Stravato, who's not here tonight, but still very fast. Had a top 5 run, top 3 run, I think, last week. At least top 5, and looking solid so far.
So putting the heat here, Sturgill to the inside of the 78 car for 4th. The top 2 have checked out, though. They're a 1.5 seconds ahead of right now of Angelo Horonis in this 3rd through 5th position, starting to accordion back. Rose has got his hands full coming off of 2.
Oh, I think Loveland just hit the wall, but keeps it straight. That turn 2 wall's been a victim of car abuse so far, as that 78 tries to hold off the 3. This is when you really need to pounce on new tires. This is when you have to make your ground up. It's hard because you want to save the tires for the long run, but it is so hard to pass. You might as well just push for the short run and get the track position when it matters the most. And I think that's what Sturgill's trying to do right now. But also, Rose is trying to go after the 29 of Veronis, as Weekly Shoemaker McWhorter also battling for 7th.
So a little 3-car battle here, 3rd through 6th, 3rd through 5th, and then back here with McWhorter to the inside now, the 43 of Bryce Shoemaker. Caleb Weekly having a solid night there in 7th, just in front of this battle.
He's had a run of bad luck. He needs some good runs to go his way. 11th in the points, so right on the cusp of that chase cut line. Solid night, like you said, is that lead starting to extend. Jacob Bradley starting to pull away. Banks not able to stay on the bumper of the 60, maybe saving tires, maybe trying to gear up for the long run, but that 60 continues to dominate. It looks like he's going to extend that lead for the time being again.
Well, and Banks absolutely knows how to save tires. We've seen him do it several times. He'll relax you to sleep, make you forget about him, and the next thing you know, he's in your bumper or he beats you on pit road. And one of the few drivers this season that has a victory I'm interested to see if Jacob Bradley just waited this long. The late entry into the season, he's really turned up the heat here in these last two.
Yeah, he was struggling with long run pace, I think, the first 2 races he did, but last week he had it and arguably should have won that race. Tonight, it hasn't been a contest so far as long run speed. He almost had a 5-second lead, so he's figuring something out, and he's figuring it out quick, which is very, very scary if he can do it as quickly as he has in this series. So very, very scary for the opposition. When Jeff Wright's ready to come back, he will almost certainly have competition. It's going to be all lows at the front.
Yeah, maybe that might be, you might be onto something there with that point, because the 60 car is showing that late run speed here lately, but he's also not having to chase down the 48 car right now. And we've talked about how Jeff Wright can make you use up your stuff early in a run, just trying to keep pace with him. That's not been the case here for Bradley these last 2 weeks, and we've kind of seen a few other drivers in that same boat, where they're a little better on tires in the long run compared to where they normally are. Tough break, though, for a lot of these guys. That has stayed the same. Chuck Sweeting out early. I mean, talk about bad luck. That 75 car, I don't know. I feel like we should give him an extra car every week.
Number change, car color change, I don't know, but something needs to be changed, as it's like Weekly's trying to fend off 7th for McWhorter. McWhorter almost got to his outside out of turn 2, but kind of did the crossover, got to the inside out of turn number 2, is going to get that 7th spot. So 73 back on the climb. Saw how poor the long run speed was, as the 13 almost giving a shot to the 73. Oh, matter of fact, he does. So a little bit of, I don't know. I was about to say RG Bargy, but that doesn't fit an oval broadcast. But either way, the 73 is through.
RG Bargy, huh?
Yeah.
Not familiar. I guess I don't get the reference there, but I'll take your word for it.
It is not really a reference. It's just a saying that I think it's Calvin Fish. I get that from. That's his thing.
So now with the scenario, Connor, we've got that first pit stop under yellow. You see Bradley pulling away. If you're Joshua Banks, Angelo Hronis, or even Joseph McWhorter, who was up in this top 3 at one point, what's your strategy now? Do you short pit? Do you stay out a lap longer? What's the game plan here?
I think if you're Joshua Banks, if you stay within half a second, you can consider short pitting, because undercutting by 1 lap will get you the track position for the race lead. At this point, everyone else is 3.5 seconds or further back at this point, so I wouldn't say there's a point to undercut, because the tire difference is not going to keep you in the lead. You just got to kind of race your race and just race for the positions you're in right now, because these top 2 are on another level right now. Pulling away from a 29 Hronis, who has pulled away from Ryan Rose, who's getting passed by and ran up the racetrack by Michael Sturgill. I think once again the 3 was tired of sitting behind another driver, just like he was earlier when he was racing Mahalski. Now he's up to 4th.
Up 11 positions here for the number 3 machine. He is the biggest mover of the race thus far. Second biggest mover is James Loveland. He's been in and out of this top 10. He's hanging on to it right now in the 10th spot.
Yeah, his only opposition for that top 10 is Michael Kostick, who was involved in that last crash or last caution, but repaired the Jack Daniels Camaro, back up into 11th, started 19th, climbed through the field at least a couple of times so far, as Porter good run of Mahalski up ahead of this battle. He's looking to the inside in the turn number 1. Tough pass to make work, as Loveland trails the 43, getting cleaner on his nose. But that bottom in 1 and 2 just doesn't seem able to really get anything going.
You can get the entry, but it seems like the exit, anytime you get back to the throttle, car just wants to automatically wash up the racetrack. And you can't really back it up enough to prevent that. The banking here is just not enough to drive with the throttle to get that car to go lower.
And that's what forces people to use the bumpers, because that bottom line's not going to work. You just get pinched. You cannot make it work. And you just wash up into the driver on your outside, like we saw with 35 do to McWhorter at least 2 times on that previous run. So there's not much else you can do other than just start to use the bumper early on. This is battle for the lead, still half a second, running identical laps, these 2, as Bailey Turner just giving himself a nice bird's eye view of this battle 5 laps down.
Trying to get one of those laps back the old-fashioned way. And the 24 car obviously showing some speed. He's contesting these guys lap after lap. Last time by, 34.564. Jacob Bradley only 100th faster than that.
Yeah, Bradley was about...
It's incredible that the front end was missing on that car. He's still matching the leader.
That new damage model, it helps out a lot. As last time by, Banks was about half a tenth faster. I think this time, they ran near the same exact lap, these two. So very even so far. But it looks like they're still not driving the same. Banks has fired it so hard into every corner, especially turn 1. But Bradley gains that back and maybe a little more than that on the exits of both corners.
So now 62 laps into the race. We're approaching that halfway point. Bradley has led every single, well, not every single. We got, I believe the 50 of Licata snagged one away from him there under caution.
Two. You know no one's ever going to lead every single lap in case Licata is in the field. That's his game.
Yeah, that's his game plan.
He led one. I don't know who led the other one. Well, actually, that checks out.
Yeah, we had to complete. Now we come around. It should be. Yeah, so that all adds up. But I mean, math-wise, not my strong suit.
Whoa! It's got sideways on the curb, I think.
Yeah, he did.
You're talking about you want to get down there a little bit, but you cannot get your tires on there. You're going to slide and lose time. That cost him probably more than the 10th. As Alex Bell pits. He took the wave around, so this is a scheduled stop, and unlike everyone else, he's probably going to have to do an extra stop. So hoping for a well-timed yellow when pit stops start, I would think.
That's Carson Marinka earlier there. Had that problem with the 24 machine. Hopefully can hold on to it here as the leaders go by on the inside. There goes the 35.
Bailey Turner's having flashbacks, but he's by as well. Side by side, Joseph McWhorter cannot get by Noah Mahalski. Mahalski is the Ryan Newman of Saturday Night Racing League just for tonight. It's not every night, but right now, with the track the way it's racing right now, he is Ryan Newman, as also side by side for 8th, Shoemaker and Wheatley. Shoemaker got sideways off the corner. It's another bad thing about this track. If you don't make that bottom line work, you're going to get lined up on the outside, because here comes Caustic and here comes Loveland. Hey, what? Bradley lost a decent amount of time last time by. Banks almost got to the bumper, but this battle's still side by side. Well, that battle for the lead not exactly close enough to show yet.
Well, and the 6 of Caustic got the door opened up. The 13 a little slow on the exit, and the 43 cut him a break, but that allowed Caustic to get to the bottom. But look how much he loses on the exit of turn 2, and that allows Loveland to try to snag away the top 10. 13, 6, 43, and 56, all right on top of each other. 8th through 11th, very undecided. Battle in front of them starts over, and finally McWhorter is able to get by the 03 car for 6th.
Yeah, it took a while, but he finally got it done. Just got a better run out of turn number 2, and kind of shoved him up. It actually definitely gave a shot to Mahalski in the turn number 3 to get that position done, from what I saw. And like we said, Banks closed that gap up. It's still not close enough to have a shot at the lead right now. They are 5.3 seconds clear of 3rd place Angelo Horones.
So again, I just want to establish Bailey Turner. Impressive that he's able to do what he's done here. He's kept pace with the leaders. He's on the same stint of tires as they are. Just got to wonder, though, had that wreck not happened, he was on the way to the top 5 when that happened. And did he have the speed here to maybe get a snag a win away with this limited schedule he's running?
I think he definitely had the speed, but he had no luck tonight. He was crashed out lap 2 with Alex Bell, recovered from that, repaired that damage, then got the front end completely knocked off at that time with Marenka. So just what could have been when you're running 5 laps down. Nothing more you could do about that as Banks starts to lose that time back. As Shoemaker and Wheatley are still side by side. This is still a 4-car logjam for this position.
Weekly defending on the outside off of turn 4, really sideways there for the 43 of Shoemaker. He's not going to be able to get this position away. 13's going to pinch a little bit here on the entry. Maybe get a good run off. No, Shoemaker going to get the nose out of 2. Side by side, actually 4 rather, side by side down the front stretch.
Racing at Gateway. This is when, if I was Shoemaker, you kind of have to try your hardest to just fire it into a corner and slide up in front of him. I wouldn't slide up and door him, but that works too. There's the slide job. Just absolutely nailed the throttle out of turn number 2. And finally gets that position done. That's for 8th. And now it's Michael Kostek's turn, or James Loveland, as 2 more drivers into the fight. Well, 1 more driver into the fight for this position. It's Edwin Mendez. A little bit of a bump back from the 13 as Edwin Mendez is closing in on this position. Weekly in the wall. That's tight racing.
These guys are pushing it harder and harder with every lap, and now officially past the halfway point. And Connor, we haven't done it for a minute. We don't have very many opportunities left to do it, so let's bring it up on your screen. Let's bring the noise, presented by Harpoon Design.
Let's do it.
The noise brought to you by Harpoon Design. Caleb Weekly gets really loose there on the exit of turn 4. Just on the outside of the 46. Edwin Mendez able to get away in the top 10 now. 13 cars starting to fall off here as the longer run comes in.
And James Loveland pit out of this battle. Pit like a lap ago, lap 72, which is pretty early. Can't imagine he can make it on fuel from here, so maybe trying an extra stop, hoping the tires were out enough as Marenka continues to putz around. 20th position, 7 laps down. Alex Bell has called it a night. He was 6 down, decided otherwise. Decided he did not want to ride around anymore. So that's our 2nd retirement of the night. Joining Chuck Sweeting in the garage as that lead for Jacob Bradley started to extend, as Roy Massey is also going to think what could have been tonight, as he would be in the top 10 if it wasn't for that VR failure he had under caution.
Yeah, some goodbye on the inside. He's on a little bit different strategy. Not completely out of the woods yet. He is only 2 laps down compared to Bailey Turner, who is 5 down. Bailey still has a lot to go right for him to even get back on the lead lap. But again, impressive what he's been able to do with the speed. But look at the lead. These guys have pulled out over 6 seconds on the 29 of Hronis. And that's impressive in itself, because the 29 car, he's been fast every single race.
And it's not like he's slow and holding people up, not like the 73 was, because Michael Sturgill has not gotten close enough to really battle the 29 yet. He's just not on the same pace level as those top 2 right now. And it shows in the gap that we're seeing. It's, you know, Edwin Mendez, he's about half a track behind in 10th position. So it's almost starting to look like Rockingham, where you have like a small handful of drivers that are just so far above everyone else where they could potentially lap into the top 10, maybe the top 5, as we've seen that already happen this season as well. As even with all this spread outness, still battles around the track, mainly the one we've been looking at for that 8th position. Shoemaker and Kostek. That's growing a little bit further apart as Loveland on new tires. Thank you very much. Trying to make hay.
has now the advantage with the different tire sets. We've still got a few cars that are out there 36 laps deep into this run. James Loveland 4 laps on his, so 32 lap difference. And Jacob Bradley, we're approaching that fuel window. When do you bring it down, Connor?
They pit under yellow around lap 41, really, so you're probably going to split this rather evenly if you can get the 90. So we're probably 10, 15 laps away, maybe a little less than that for some of the drivers not close to this top 5 battles, these top 5 battles. If you're Joshua Banks, you're definitely trying to beat the 60 to pit lane. I don't think you win this race overcutting with how tough it is to pass. You need to beat Jacob Bradley to pit lane if you're Joshua Banks if you want a shot at winning this race. I think the best I don't know what the saying is, but I think the best offense tonight would be to set up the play, twice to defense, because I don't think he can pass the 60 from what we've seen right now. I think he needs to get track position on pit road and then just hold him off from there.
0.6 of a second, not a great exit there on turn 2. He gives up about 100th down this backstretch. He has kept the 60 car in check. It seems like once he gets into that bubble, that's when the setup just doesn't want to handle anymore. Thanks with another jump into 3 and 4, and this time by, it looked like he was a little bit faster.
You see that ticker coming down a few thousandth of a second down the straightaway. Just got a better run out of 4. Maintaining that 5/10 to 7/10 of a second gap. Just not able to get any closer since about 20 laps ago, as these two try to battle more. Turner almost hit the wall. He's fallen off this lead battle. Trying to see what could be happening. There's a tight battle for 12th. Max Koss, Jerry Bergeron, Case Lakatos are now the new group that are on top of each other for this position. Bergeron is working over the 63. Just slides up in front of the 63 at that. Oh, almost contact. Lakatos almost got in the back of Koss. Has to lift.
It's getting a little sketchy there. 82 laps in out of 140. These tires are all spent. They're all used up, and you can see by the way these guys couldn't really complete a pass to begin with. It's been tough all night. The battle for the lead, it's back under 0.3 of a second now as we approach lap 83.
It's starting to look like Bradley might be struggling to get the nose pointed, especially in 3 and 4. You saw right there, Banks was able to wrap the curved white line, and Jacob Bradley was a little bit off that, could not wrap it like he wanted to. So Banks might have saved a little here at the very end of this run before pit stops to try to get this track position. You can see he is able to turn it down much better than the 60. Doesn't give him much of a better run, but he gained so much with that initial cut down.
Sturgill has also found the back of Angelo Horonis back for 3rd spot.
Oh, Banks has a run.
He's got a big run here.
I think Bradley has the right front tire issues. He cannot get off the corner well, so now he might be the one who needs to undercut the 35. But he's going to battle the heck out of him if he can, and he just can't. He has nothing.
I thought that was a backstretch camera, but here we come off the exit of turn 2 and back on the crossover, the 60 into the inside at 3. Tags the apron to try to set that nose, and it just doesn't help it turn enough. Banks takes over the lead on lap 84. Second lead change of the night.
I tell you what, that came out of nowhere. He was starting to fall off a little bit, and all of a sudden he just brought it right back. Maybe had to caught Jacob Bradley by surprise. It's the 3rd lead change of the night. It's the first lap led for Joshua Banks. And that's a pretty crucial pass right before pit stops, and he's going to try to get as big of a gap as possible because that 60 looks to be struggling bad.
Look back here at Sturgill from the 3rd spot. Angelo Horonis has played pretty good defensive strategy, up 7 positions, but Sturgill up even more, 11 spots. First car to come down pit road. Well, that was the number 56 of James Loveland. No other takers yet. I'm surprised to see it, but no other takers down pit road.
A little early for it. We'll see if anyone else tries it. I know for a fact Banks won't be the first one down, neither will the 73 after getting caught last time. But Jacob Bradley's got a decision to make. He is struggling. He is going to start falling off. Well, that'll help a little bit. if Keith Shoemaker got caught in a bad spot there, but 60's still going to start falling off the back bumper of Joshua Banks pretty soon here. He's going to have to make sure he gets to pit road first, because Sturgill might have to do the same thing to Hronis in this battle for third.
7 seconds back from third place. Back you've got Joseph McWhorter, who's just now coming out of turn 2, so a pretty sizable gap. Those cars in between Sturgill and those drivers from 5th on back. Those are lap cars trying to get it back the old-fashioned way. Early pit stop for the 56 car. The 05, who's just had a terrible day today. Gotta admire the fact that he's still out here turning laps, though, after all the debacles that have happened. There he is again. It looks like a brake issue.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been able to get on the brakes all night, it seems like, so I don't know what really the issue is, but he's not been able to get the car slowed down when he needs to, as the gap for the lead increases. It's going to be about 7/10 by the end of the straightaway. The gap for the third position increases because Sturgill's getting past Ryan Loveland. McWhorter has passed Ryan Rose not too long ago for the 5th position, as the 78 kind of missed a corner maybe 5 laps ago. McWhorter back up to the top 5, still climbing back from getting caught a lap down on our second yellow. And Mahalski, Kostic, Shoemaker, Mendez to top 10.
How about that? Bill Mahalski, 7th position, doing what he needs to do. Having Carlisle out of this race. Alex Bell pretty much out of the picture now. He parks it into the pits and takes it behind the wall. And so what possesses you as a driver? You know that points lead right there for grasp. You could stay out here and try to mitigate the damage, but ultimately Alex Bell, he's got so many other guys out here that were behind him by only 5-6 points. The situation's going to completely change, and I look to see Bell probably 5th or lower after tonight.
We'll have to wait and see. He'll definitely pass Jeff Wright on points, and Carwell's not going to pass him. Depends on what Mahalski will do. Mahalski was about 16 points behind him coming in tonight, and then McWhorter 17 behind, and then Massey 26 behind with his VR issue. So maybe he'd still be the points leader, but Mahalski's running well, 7th position. You might see that 0-3 be the point leader after tonight. James Loveland's kind of split that battle for third, right in the middle of Hronis and Sturgill. He's on fresher tires, but they seem to be falling off a little bit, as once again Jacob Bradley losing more and more time to the 35, but still no one else other than James Loveland yet to hit lane.
Shoemaker actually brings it down right as you said that.
Actually, Caleb Weekly also exited, I believe. So
down the
1 or
way.
2. Starting to see that slow trickle. This is close to about cutting it in half. And Mahalski as well. So this is the beginning of the sequence. That's 3 drivers right there. And here comes Jacob Bradley.
This fits right into the run that you were talking about. Very heavy approach to pit road. You're going to make up your time. Now is the place to do it, because this should seal the deal. Max Costa into his stall as well. 60 car, long 45-mile-per-hour pit speed limit. He does have the advantage of having that first box.
And Banks is responding, which is smart. I don't think overcut's going to work. He's just immediately going to come down. And I thought the 60's entrance was a little conservative. If he's not being very aggressive either, so if he has a good entrance here, we'll see what the gap is. It's a 2-second difference between tires right now. Sturgill also came down. He's going to get the jump on Hronis. McWhorter. Here comes Kostic, Ryan Rose.
That just started the whole flood there, having the leader come in.
That's usually how it goes. Watch that walkway. Angelo Hronis assumes the lead for 1 lap, then he will bring it down this time. It should bring the lead over. I think that might be everyone. I don't think there's anyone else who needs to pit other than the 29, so this should cycle out rather quickly, as here comes the 29. And Joshua Banks is exiting the pits right now, and those two are really close on the pit exit. I think Bradley's going to get him for the time being.
So that work that the 35 car did during that green flag run, he finds himself right back in the hole after those pit stops. And I thought that Banks had a better approach on the pits. Maybe it's not so much about the approach, but maybe Bradley having that final 2 pit boxes allowed him to launch out and get a pretty big jump onto the access road.
It could be possible, but the tire difference was so big that it might not have mattered what the 35 did. So yeah, he's got the luxury this time having fresher, 1 lap fresher tires as Edwin Mendez comes down the pit. Just McWhorter had the issue in turn 1, but Mendez should be the last driver to have to come down. James Loveland's going to cycle up the 3rd. See how long that lasts, because his tires are rather old. I don't think he can make it on fuel considering when he pit from.
So about 0.8 of a second, 60 car holding on to it. Now I'm interested to see the long run speed. And Loveland up to 3rd. He, remember, is about 20 lap older tires. Michael Sturgill up to 4th. Angelo Aronis loses a couple spots. Loveland probably going to lose ground to Sturgill, though. We're talking about a 7 lap difference here on tires. There's the 24. It's an entirely different stint.
There's more than that, I think. Loveland down lap 72. Sturgill down lap 93. That's 21 lap difference as Turner's in. Laps
I was
down.
looking at the gain on positions. Both these guys are up a lot of spots. And Loveland makes a mistake into 3. Actually hits the wall coming out of the corner.
I don't think he took the wave around, so I was a little surprised when we saw anyone pit lap 72. Like I said, the only option would be another stop from here. Don't think you can make it 68 laps on a tank. As Bradley...
He's not in a good spot.
No, probably needs a caution as... Well, who knows, Jacob Bradley might need a caution because got around max cost, but that gap is decreasing more quickly this time. I think Joshua Banks is going to try to get this lead back away with a little more urgency. It's within half a second.
He hit that bubble last time. That's when the car started to fall apart. He's now in that range, 0.3 of a second, but a little lap traffic going to mix it up. CO5 again. He's got heavy right front damage.
If it was, I mean, yeah, the suspension's pretty bent. If he could break the suspension fully off, I think he would have at this point. He's struggling tonight. Banks closes in. Yeah, I think Jacob Bradley's going to try to fight this a lot harder than he did last time he lost this lead, because I don't think he had a chance to defend it last time on much more worn tires. We might see fenders be used in this last 40 lap stint.
You saw what happened on that long run last time. Maybe he's in a little extra conservation mode compared to it, and he'll allow Banks to get to that inside, use his stuff up, and then start to set sail on it.
You don't want to.
As a driver,
you don't want to back up too. Oh, see, he keeps missing the bottom while Banks is able to wrap it. That makes a big difference. You just don't want to let Banks close enough to bump you out of the way, because he will bump you out of the way if he feels the need to.
I think you kind of get a 2-strike policy with Joshua Banks. You can hold him up for a little bit, but eventually enough's enough, and the 35 car just moves you. But he does it tastefully. I don't think I've seen him move anyone and deliberately wreck them, so sometimes that's how you have to race, especially tracks like this where the inside line is just impossible to complete the pass. Kind of run guys out wide and use them up.
And this battle is definitely the most interesting battle on the track. Battle for 5th is also close. Looks like McWhorter's actually going to the inside of Mahalski out of 4 right now. Banks once again that good arc down out of 2, but not good enough. He's looking to the inside on Jacob Bradley in the 3. He's got positioning.
All the way down to the bottom for the 35 car. Banks trying to complete this pass. Looks like he does have it there for a second, but not enough across the line. He'll get the lap led, but not the position complete. And the 60 car fights back on the outside into 1.
Banks drove him up the track. I don't think the 60 has the traction on exit, so Banks gets it back. Bradley could have a crossover. He's got the run. Banks won't block it. I think he wants his top line. This is exactly what he wants from Jacob Bradley, though, so see if Bradley hits that apron. It does. Banks has the run off the top. Jacob Bradley, you can see him trying to throttle up. He just doesn't have the grip.
Always a strange feeling when you hit the loud pedal and you start drifting towards the door of the guy on your outside, and all you can hear is that spotter repeat outside for however many seconds it takes. And at this place, it's probably not very comforting to hear that all the way around the racetrack.
That's been the issue for a lot of drivers trying to pass. Sasha Banks did it earlier to the 73, but, you know, if this goes green, that's a big if. What we've seen in Saturday Night Racing League's short history. He might not have to deal with that anymore because now he's pulled away, and he's probably going to start to pull away from Jacob Bradley at this point as start to look at battles a little further down in the field. Battle for 7th is pretty hot right now. It's Bryce Shoemaker, Michael Kostek. Even behind that, the battle for about the 9th position is pretty hot. It just changed hands because Loveland's falling back on old tires, so not much of a fight there.
A new graphic up on your screen, so you can see these three-way battles, and just a tenth of a second separate Shoemaker from Kostek. This is 7th and 8th position. Look at the overdrive there by Shoemaker. Kostek gets the nose on the inside as they exit turn 2 in a drag race down the backstretch.
Kostek kind of getting away from side draft just in case any of it comes there, but he should be all good. Makes that pass up a little faster. I think it's a little bit fresher tires than Bryce Shoemaker right now, so put him up to 7th. Ryan Rose is up to 9th. A little further back, not too many other battles. Mendez and Bergeron are spread apart. There's a battle for 14th. Max Costas trying to fend off Case Lacadas right now for this position. I think also the 50 has fresher tires. This battle will subside rather quickly. Maybe not that quickly. Got a crossover.
I looked away from it exactly when. Oh, the 13 way up the racetrack into 1. He's just trying to get out of the way here. Banks, a little bit of a late entry. You can see that gap growing a little bit on your screen. Half a second separating these two.
Had an issue. James Loveland tried the pit, missed pit entry, got in the grass. He'll keep it straight, make it the pit lane, but an easy mistake to make. As Marenka is going to come down as well.
So if you're Loveland right now, that sequence there with pit stops and wave around, or whatever situation it might have been, kind of put him in a bad spot, and now he's just a matter of, you know, can I survive here to the end, maybe get a caution that puts me back on the lead lap.
It's going to be a tall task. It's going to take a wave around with everyone who's a lap down without trying an extra pit stop. They're lapped up to 9th place right now. Caleb Weekly's the lucky dog recipient if we got a yellow right now. And we'll see if they catch Ryan Rose. I'm not sure if they're going to get there in 33 laps. But the pace from the 35 is pretty good so far. It's now 10.2 seconds back to Michael Sturgill, who's clear for 3rd place at this point.
And there's Rose coming off of turn 4. Joshua Banks down the back straightaway. I'd say he's about 13 to 15 seconds behind this driver in the 9th spot. That's what happens when BT or caution's out.
And I got no clue.
James Loveland, maybe he towed back to pit road.
It must have been then, yeah. Just came out of the pits on new tires. This changes everything. V-speed instant replay, and it's just a spin on cold tires out of turn number 4. That happened right in front of the leaders. I heard an audible groan from Banks.
Yeah, he's feeling it. Now they got this extra tire set. I believe 5 were available here tonight, so you know the whole field's going to come down and get it. That's a tough break there for the 56. Good job to not hit the wall, but man, it's a shame that he towed back to pit road because now he goes even deeper on laps down here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He might have been a little embarrassed about bringing out the yellow, but it happens to the best. That happens to everyone. It's just part of racing as we get a yellow with About 31 laps to go as these top two should come out 1-2. But what order will be the question, as Bradley's got that #1 pit stall. Could make a difference here. And this is big for McWhorter especially. It puts him back in the game, gives Michael Sturgill a chance. And like you said, everyone has plenty of tire sets left. At least they had 2 extra sets. Banks is out. Is he going to get the lead? Yes, he is. Track race for third. I don't know who got third. I think it was Sturgill. Yes, it was. As James Loveland will retire from this race. And a lot of wave arounds as Caleb Weekly got the lucky dog. Watch this drag race. Hronis had the edge, but then Sturgill just got it at the end.
So here we sit, 111 laps in. You heard the moans and groans. Joshua Banks felt like he could probably run away with this race at that point. But now 4 fresh tires. We know how fast Jacob Bradley's been on the short run. Now Sturgill in the 3rd spot. Angelo Hronis, Joseph McWhorter, the top 5 as they scrub these tires up to get them warmed up. We're going to take another quick commercial break live here on V-Speed. Saturday Night Racing League. We'll be back right after this.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
Introducing Tractor USA, the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with 0 commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to TractorUSA.com to get started today.
V-Speed Saturday Night Racing League, it's going to get intense. We're going to go green with 27 laps to go. Banks the leader, Bradley the runner-up. It might be between these two. Can Sturgill or Angelo Hronis get involved in the fight? We're back green once again. Big jump for Joshua Banks into turn number 1. He gets clear for the lead. Bradley is clear for second. Is Hronis got to be outside? No, Bradley had a big wiggle. Here comes Sturgill for second.
Sturgill ducks to the inside into 3 and 4. They're going to be at the door of that 60 car. And we haven't really seen Banks in that clean air to start out a run, so this is interesting to see if Banks can pull away with this lead. He knows that we've got a limited stint. He's got to push it as hard as he can. Everyone behind the 60 car knows that, and that's why we've got a lot of shuffling for position. Second still up for grabs.
Rosen, Bryce Shoemaker almost made contact, but it looks like Jacob Bradley, this is his first restart without clean air, and it looks like he's struggling. It looks like he looks really sideways is the issue, but gets a runoff of 2. He's back clear for second, but side by side here costs us so much time. Already 7/10 down on the 35.
But Bradley probably pushing it a little bit harder than he's used to, and this track has been good rubbered in since the sun went down on about lap 25. It was completely dark here, and the racetrack state, it changes with that rubber groove, and you see everyone's migrating higher and higher up this racetrack on the entrance of one.
Everyone's going higher and higher just to try to find something, get a better run down this long back straightaway. It's working for some, not for others. I just don't know. It seems like the track changing, maybe the sun going down, maybe hurt the 60 because he was flying earlier, but really nothing doing right now. Losing time more and more to the 35, 8/10 of a second lead. Michael Sturgill is there.
I pray that this race stays green because I know that Bradley needs a redemption, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see a flip-flop here where that front runner, like Bradley had earlier, runs out of tires. Car in the wall back there. I think it was Casey Lakatos.
I think it was Edwin Mendez in the black Cupra. He pounded the wall, but still in 11th position. Haley Turner not battling for that position. Lakatos right behind the 46, maybe by half a second. Got for the lead, came down to 10th that lap. Jacob Bradley's gonna need more than that, as Mahalski could be the points leader after tonight, running 6th so far.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably gonna be the case, and he still has the potential to pick up another spot or two, but he's got to hold on to what he's got, because right now that battle is going to be tight between that top four. And you know, going into the next week that Jeff Wright shows up, he's going to mean business. It's been pretty much the case for every race he's been in.
Joshua Banks going to need business as well. He's our recent winner. He was our winner last season, I believe, at Bristol when we went there in the Gen 4 machines. So he's going to be stout as well for that 200-lap event, as he is slipping and sliding up the racetrack, trying to run away, but Jacob Bradley, he's good on the short runs, and he has gained around another 10th of a second.
We haven't talked about it for a while here, but the 73 car has been a little bit off. Ever since he got out of that cycle and that caution came out, he has not recovered back to this top three. And, you know, almost a post-race interview last week, got himself into a situation where maybe could have given a little more room. I don't know what they both felt about it, but I haven't seen any of that boil over here tonight on a track where it would be very easy to get even.
The issue for McWhorter tonight is when he was in second, he was costing Joshua Banks multiple seconds, was not on the pace long run. And I think that's kind of been a reason why he hasn't been able to get back to third. Just doesn't have the long run pace, and he's not able to make the passes in dirty air. So it's he's kind of stalled in 5th or 6th for the rest of this night, as Mahalski's not chasing him down quite yet. Gap for the lead not coming down as much that time around, but Jacob Bradley is pulling away from Michael Sturgill. Those top three have really pulled away. 1, 2, 3, and then a gap back to Hronis with 3 other drivers on his bumper. And this is all 11 cars with fresh tires. Everyone else is falling off because they all took the wave.
Yeah, that's another situation you get put into when you're trying to get back on the lead lap. You don't get to come down pit road, and so now pretty much everyone from 9th on back was in that boat. And Caustic, Mendez, Lakatos, Cost. Just not a good situation for these guys. And actually, I think Mendez got the wave around, but it was the lucky dog position, so he did have the opportunity to hit pit road.
Caleb Weekly was the lucky dog. Could be wrong. I did see him go past.
Okay.
It would make sense. 10th position, about 8 seconds ahead of Mendez. Ray Massey, another one who took the wave round. Needed more yellows to recover from the VR incident under yellow. Could be a top 5 run for him if that wasn't the case. Now a lap down. Needs at least 2 yellows to get the lucky dog. He will not chase down Jerry Bergeron, who did take tires.
I'm looking here in front of Noah Migalski. If he plays the patience card and backs these corners up a little bit more, he could get a 2 for 1, because Hronis and McWhorter both were a little bit slower. They're struggling here. But the 03 makes a huge mistake, and now Rose on the back bumper.
I think Mahalski was hoping to get the 73 back. McWhorter shoved the 03 out of the groove a little earlier, unceremoniously, but not having the opportunity to do the same as well. You see everyone's just sliding into turn 1. because they're really trying to reach for third gear immediately as they're getting down on RPM. So they end up going way higher up than they want to because they're trying to use third gear to slow it down so they can make the corner. Sometimes they are not able to make that work. That's why you're seeing drivers slide the track more and more as this race goes further and further. This Rose is a curb. The 6 is on the curb. Both the same type of battle for different positions. About a half a second separated from one another. As that gap of a lead starts to increase, back up to about 7/10.
And Banks smart, especially at tracks like this, very similar to Martinsville or New Hampshire, where he really flourishes. And you get Daytona and Auto Club and some of the 1.5 miles where he does good enough to keep himself in contention for these championships. But if they had a playoff that was all short tracks, look out. I think Banks would be the guy.
He'll definitely be someone you have to look out for.
Sort of a weird distance track as well, 1.25 miles, and only a handful of tracks that actually fit that category. Nashville Superspeedway comes to mind with the 1.33. There's not a lot of tracks that are in that one, in between the 1 and the 1.5 miles.
There's not many that are flat like this. Darlington, not really flat, very banked. Nashville's another one that comes to mind. It's got banking, but it's also concrete, also not comparable. It goes under the category of tracks that are like imposter short tracks, where they're kind of a little bit of both. You get some short track action in the corners, but you get the speeds up to one like an intermediate. You're seeing speeds up. We've seen speeds up to 170 tonight. Speeds are getting as low as 85 in the middle of turns 1 and 2. So that's an odd track combination when you have tracks like that where you just have completely different ranges. That's what kind of creates that shifting possibility as well, obviously.
Yeah, the downshift just to get the run off of the corner, get that car to actually steer again, because that right front is all but spent. You can see him sliding through the entry of 1. The lead has grown to almost a full second as they exit turn 2, but a little bit of a resurgence here. We're going to have about 10 to go very soon, and it's looking like Banks could run away with this race. I say that, and there's half a tenth, and he gives it back. The entry seems to be really good for Bradley, but the exit, he loses all of it.
It just seemed like at the very end of that middle stint, where he just really sideways in the 1 there. It just seemed like all of a sudden it started going wrong, because all of a sudden just not able to hold the bottom, not able to make pace. It just seemed like almost like the driving style completely had the flip for whatever reason. Just something changed around the lap 85 mark and kind of dictated the rest of this race, where he just cannot pin the bottom line in 3 and 4 and just struggles to get the power down out of turn number 2.
Setting up for 10 to go next time by Joshua Banks, about a full second. Now is a full second. And that drive by on the 05 car. Jacob Brantley back in second. I mean, at the very least, Brantley can get a post-race interview. He deserved it last week in that battle. And he came home, I believe, in 7th position. Not even close to where he wanted to be. If it wasn't for another car hitting him, I don't know if he would have crossed the line.
Yeah, is this getting... Yeah, he definitely deserved it last week. That's racing sometimes. I don't know if you'd categorize this one as heartbreaking if he ends up losing this race. Getting a wall out of turn 2, that's going to give Sturgill, he's going to smell blood in the water. But I don't know if you call it heartbreaking, because yes, he did lead maybe over half this race, but at the same time, Joshua Banks has been the faster driver since about the 3/4 mark, maybe earlier than that. So see what his thoughts are as long as he gets his top 3, as hopefully that damage he got from the wall doesn't cost him 2nd position. As it was a 4-way battle for 6th, and Mahowski's starting to pull away a little bit.
And McWhorter on his own little island here in 5th spot. Baronis about 6/10, 7/10 of a second as they pull out of the corner. Now up to 9/10. A little mistake there by McWhorter. Side by side back here. Bryce Shoemaker inside of Michael Kostick for 8th.
Gotta get it done at this point, coming to 8 laps to go. Shoemaker's starting to fall. Kostick trying to take advantage. Tight. Did he each other's doors out of 4, but the 43 eventually has to lift and concede. So the 6 is up to 8th position, trying to chase down Rose and Mahalski, as Michael Sturgill hunting down Jacob Bradley, or at least trying to. Honestly, he's kind of come on late at the end as well. Last 3 or 4 laps, he's been the fastest driver on the track over Joshua Banks. But the problem is he's got a car in between him and Banks, as well as 1.3 seconds.
Yeah, and he'll have to do that every single lap for probably the next 6, 7 laps if he wants any shot. But it's going to have to be more than a 10th that last time by, just shy of that, and still a little bit faster than your leader. But I would have to say Banks is probably just in cruise mode at this point. He's not really pushing it.
I think so. He's probably trying to conserve tires just in case you have to stay out or take 2 tires. If you got a late yellow, we will be seeing strategies all over the place with 14 drivers on the lead lap, and obviously a number of drivers needing tires, the 4 that took the wave on the lead lap. So got to be aware of potential situations when you're in control like this, not having to fight anyone off. That time, Banks was the fastest driver, but only by a couple thousandths over the 3.
Top 4 all in the 7s that last time by. I don't even want to try to attempt some of this math. We're talking about 400 of a second separating them. And you know, if you're Bradley right now, defense is your only game. You can't really play offense because Banks has proven that he's in cruise mode and he'll match your lap time. So now you focus on the car in the mirror and pray that for these next 5 laps you don't make a mistake and send it too deep into one.
Jacob Bradley, Michael Sturgill, same time last time by. Banks was better by about 100. That time it was Angel Veronis fastest out of the top 4. As Ryan Rose just hit the wall, he's trying to defend on Michael Kostek. Kostek's gonna have a look to the inside, big dive here into 3, most likely coming to 4 laps to go.
This might open up a door here for Shoemaker, who tried to pass the 6 car earlier. They got door to door. Kostek in the same boat. He knows how it feels, and oh boy.
Uh-oh. Rewind. That's not that. I don't know about that one. He's gonna back out. Oh, he made Kostek get loose though. Tell you what, it worked though. He made sure Kostek was on his toes, got him scared, but it almost let Kostek make the pass. It actually almost worked. He's gonna do the same thing again. He's like, oh, he almost got me a spot.
Yeah, let's try and see what we can do here. Now to the outside, a little bit of an overshot.
That was a crazy drift, I gotta say. I thought he was gone, but he almost made the pass. And this is gonna be a real.
This is it. This is the one.
3 laps to go. And they both went very conservative. Ryan Rose cleared both of them.
I mean, if you're Kostek right now, you're like, just leave me alone so I can get by this guy.
Yeah, not gonna happen at this point, as battle for seconds gotten further and further apart. But it's still 1.1 seconds between Joshua Banks, Jacob Bradley.
Michalski pulls away from this group by about 2 seconds. Mahalski, I did it again. 3 years. 3 years.
You were 2 laps away. 2 laps away. I don't think you said it until then. I said it at the beginning of the broadcast.
78 Ryan Rose is just on defense, and for good reason. These guys have taken him 3 wide twice now. Does Bray Shoemaker have any more fireworks as we come around for the white flag?
Because all Banks wants to see, he does not want to restart, and I don't think he's going to get one.
The round gateway for the final time. The 35 of Banks has no one here to contest him. A lap car in front there of Max Kost, the last one on the lead lap in 14th position. Banks has no reason to worry as he comes off of turns 3 and 4 for the final time today. Off of the flat surface here in Madison, Illinois. For the final time for 1.25 miles, Joshua Banks gets the victory here at Saturday Night Racing.
Oh, Shoemaker and Kostek crash across the line. Shoemaker's gonna get the spot. Got ugly. Thought it would get ugly for 8th. And it did. Kostick ends up 9th, Weekly 10th. Ouch. That was a bit of a Hail Melon. Shoemaker kind of just gassed up out of 4 trying to make the corner. I mean, watch this. He knew he had, kind of figured he was going to do that because I knew he had no chance of it. But he just, look at this. Yeah, no lift. It just bounced into Kostick accidentally. I'm sure he didn't mean to, but we'll see if that stands as fireworks go off. Not for that battle, although it did get impressive and crazy. Fireworks go for the 35 of Joshua Banks. He burns it down on the front straightaway. His 3rd win in Saturday Night Racing League ties him with Bailey Turner for 2nd on the all-time list.
Still a very young league, but there's a few names that come to mind when you start talking about winners in this series and how they perform at certain tracks, and we've seen some of it here on V-Speed already. But when you put some of the similar groups together, mix it up a little bit with some new names, you get a variety of different tracks. It makes for a great show here. Saturday Night Racing concludes another one for week number 8, and we pop another engine here on a Chevrolet. But post-race interviews with your top 3. We're going to go on a quick commercial break here while we round those drivers up, and then we'll go down to Victory Lane with Joshua Banks in the number 35. You're watching Saturday Night Racing League live on V-Speed. We'll be back right after this.
Drivers, start your printers.
To keep pace with the ever-changing landscape of marketing and advertising, let Clark Print Shop help you spot the trends and keep you in front of the pack with all your color printing needs. From business cards to invitations, menus to mugs, we can print anything you need on paper or your choice of over 3,000 promotional items. Visit www.clarkprintshop.com to browse our online catalog and place your order today, or call us at 276-889-3426. For a limited time, use the code iRacing for 23% off your first purchase. The staff at Clark Print Shop looks forward to handling all your color printing needs.
In the heartland of our country, something magical is happening. At Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes, we know the power of community, of hands coming together to create wonders. These costumes are symbols of love, compassion, and inclusion. Your hands can craft dreams. Join us at Walkin' and Rollin' Costumes build events and be a part of something extraordinary.
Introducing Tractor USA, the best way to buy and sell premium ag and construction equipment. Tractor USA was designed to be straightforward, simple, and affordable with zero commission and live auctions every week. Tractor USA auctions offer the finest selection of pre-owned tractors, combines, and other ag and construction equipment from across the United States and the world. Simply go to TractorUSA.com to get started today.
Week number 8 of Saturday Night Racing League in the books here from Madison, Illinois at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. 140 laps done, and it's Joshua Banks on top of it all. 48 of 140 laps led by him tonight. Started 6th, didn't lead until about lap 85, but he dominated once he got out in front. Banks takes the win. Jacob Bradley, most likely, almost definitely led the most laps, comes home in 2nd, but a much more respectable, I wouldn't say respectable is the right word, but he at least gets 2nd and doesn't crash across the lines this week. He gets 2nd. Michael Sturgill climbs all the way from 15th for 3rd. Angelo Horonis, a quiet but solid night in 4th. McWhorter, after getting caught by the 2nd yellow of the night, a lap down, recovers to 5th. Mahalski in 6th, the likely points leader in a 0-3. That's what a story that's going to be. Ryan Rose, 7th place, a quiet 7th place after a little bit of a tumultuous race in Chicagoland. A quiet night's always a great night, almost always. Bryce Shoemaker with that move on Michael Kostek. We'll see if that stands or not, but he's, for the time being, 8th position. Kostek 9th, loses out in that battle, in that crash across the line. And Caleb Weekly rounds out the top 10 with also a quiet night for the driver, the 13 as well, but he will also move up in the points after a solid night.
Now, I got to know that word, tumultuous? Is that what you said?
Tumultuous.
Tumultuous. Yeah. It's a new one. I've never heard that one. That's but I would say a deserved finish for Jacob Bradley there in the 2nd spot. That's the word I was looking for. Good for him. He deserved it. He had a great race. 46 car, Edwin Mendez is going to get 11th spot. Casey Lakatos in 12th. Keith Shoemaker 13th. Max Kost will bring it home on the lead lap, right on the edge in 14th. Jerry Bergeron a little off pace here tonight. He'll get 15th tonight. Ray Massey, not a great rebound, not a great back-to-back for him. He'll finish 16th position. Bailey Turner 17th. He never could come back. Carson Marinka, well, he finished as many laps as he could, and he stayed out there for as long as he could, and he'll beat James Loveland, Alex Bell, Chuck Sweeting, the luck continues, and Christopher Shea, who did not elect to take the grid here tonight. So 140 laps, 175 miles for race number 8, and they have concluded. Let's take you down trackside now and get those drivers rounded up here. Let's not have that button up on the screen. Let's find Michael Sturgill in the 3rd place finish. Michael Sturgill in the number 3 machine here tonight. I tell you, you really turned up the heat there at the end of this race. You're kind of quiet. You started back in 15th. But what was the secret to getting this 3 car up front?
A lot of patience trying to get around people. I don't know what I did in qualifying, but I was like half a second off what I was doing in practice. But this place is really hard to pass at, so just trying to be patient and get around a lot of people and then stay up in front of them.
Well, we saw a few drivers have to use the bumper. At any point, that crossed your mind here tonight?
Oh yeah, I was thinking about dooring people up the track. A lot of my passes I was able to get completed just by driving into the corner right on their bumper. I don't think I ever really shipped someone up the track, but just driving in really hard right on the rear bumper and wait until they make a mistake.
Well, mistakes were made for quite a few drivers here tonight, but you're able to pull away from 4th place Angela Horonis by about 1.5 seconds. And you were right there in striking distance if Jacob Bradley made a mistake. So let's talk about this for a second. You've got some short tracks coming up. And Michael, I know you've been kind of on a limited schedule, but can we expect to see you here at Bristol next week?
Oh, I didn't know Bristol was next week. Quite possibly. I do like Bristol a lot. Last season when we ran it, I got involved in a wreck, and so I didn't get to really run that race. So it'd be nice to run Bristol with all these guys and see what I can do.
Well, we look forward to maybe seeing that. Michael Sturgill, 3rd place finisher here tonight. While we have you up in the booth, is there anyone you'd like to shout out or thank for 3rd?
Just the admins that put this thing on. You guys for putting on a great broadcast, and everyone watching.
We appreciate your time, Michael, and we look forward to maybe next week.
Thank you.
That's 3rd place finisher of the night, Michael Sturgill in the number 3 car, and a tough battle for him all night long, but he's able to get it done and put himself up on the podium. Connor Horn has caught up with your 2nd place finisher of the night, and that will be the number 60, and finally up here in the booth, Jacob Bradley.
Yeah, we got Jacob Bradley led 89 laps tonight and almost had a 5-second lead at one point in this race. But Jacob, it seemed like once we got past halfway, night settled down. It seemed like the handle went away. Don't know if it was long run or what. What more did you need to close out this victory?
In the beginning, I was shifting 3 and 4, and once the track kind of rubbered in the second half and cooled off, everybody had a little bit more grip over there, and ultimately I was slipping a little bit more and just didn't work out for me. I also, doing all that shifting 3 and 4, when we had that short caution in the middle, I was a little bit short on gas, and that kind of played into it, but ultimately Joshua drove a great race over there, and me and him, we were just driving away from the field, especially on that second run.
It definitely seemed like he kind of lost a little bit, especially it seemed like turn 3, you're kind of trying to use the curb on entry to start the rotate, but it just seemed like he was able to get down to the bottom through 3 and 4 a lot better. How tough was it to really pin the bottom like you needed to, and how grueling was this race?
At the beginning of the run, it wasn't too bad. The setup is kind of built like a qualifying setup, so you have a bunch of grip early, and then it just burns the right front tire off of it. And after about 10 laps, it's a pain to try and get it to turn. So you're just trying about everything you got to get it to turn. I was even shifting, and ultimately, I think his arc was a better choice for the long run there. But it was a long race, and it was definitely a tough one.
It definitely seemed like a tough one, but you didn't crash across the line this week. A second place finish, like we said, led 89 laps, led all but I believe the math would be 51 laps. So a great race for you. First top 3 in your 4th start in this series. So anyone you want to shout out for this? Any sponsors, friends, family, etc.?
Yeah, I want to thank my team, Payday Racing, great group of guys that race with me. I want to thank you guys for doing the broadcast, everybody watching, and just everybody in this league. It's a great group of guys, and can't say enough about all the drivers here.
Yeah, definitely a solid run tonight. Your best finish in 4 starts. Like I said, Jacob Bradley knocking on the door of that first career win. Jacob, congrats on a 2nd place, and good luck next week.
Thank you.
Going to move right over from Jacob Bradley. Good runner-up finish for him. He needed it after the heartbreak of last week. But down in victory lane, it's Bradley Cooper. And you've got Joshua Banks with his 3rd win in Saturday Night Racing League history. You've got the driver to 35.
Yeah, I do. Joshua Banks down here in the victory lane at Gateway, and it was a tough sled here tonight. You had to use the bumper on some guys. You had to run people all the way to the outside. How tough was it, though, just to get to the front? Once you got there, how tough was it to just keep yourself from overrunning the car?
Oh man, it early on it was tough. I mean, you could defend really well on that top if you know knew what you were doing. It's just once you got around them, you can finally go. It's just the way that this car with the downshift and 1 and 2, it's hard to really get a good run on somebody and keep that momentum going. And then the way these corners are set up, it's tough. But you do have to use a little bumper. You do have to get a little aggressive. Sometimes you don't want to because you don't want to be that guy. But this track called for it, and I didn't want to. I try to promote clean racing as best I can, But dang, you got to use it when you got to use it.
Yeah, we saw you stuck behind the 73 of McWhorter for quite a few laps, and I think after about 15 of them, you just kind of got that. You got that mentality of, okay, well, I've lost this much time. What can I do if I get around this guy? I'm going to have to move him.
Oh yeah, he was doing his thing, and I'm not against that whatsoever. He's trying to maintain 2nd place, but I just know that I was faster. I felt really quick early on, and knew if I could get around him quick enough, I can get to Bradley and race him. So, but I wanted the race clean. We were early in the race, didn't want to do something stupid and jeopardize anything, but. Man, it was just tough. You had to be aggressive early on to gain spots and just push it as hard as you could. And it was tough. I hate it from McWhorter, but after we got around him, you could see the difference in time. It was a complete difference. So just had to do something to get it going because without it, we obviously still wouldn't have a chance on Bradley. Who knows?
Well, and then the final part of this race, you had that caution come out, and we actually got confirmation that you weren't very happy about it. It was more of I was upset at the scenario, not at any particular person, but you re-racked this field. You put 4 drivers that have had the speed all night to be up front. What was going through your head when you got that final restart?
I mean, just the fact that my short run pace didn't feel as good when we had that one restart early on where I was 2nd to Bradley, and he pulled away. I mean, he got a full half second to a full second on me. I got back to him a little bit, but it took a while for those tires to come in and start running them back down. So when that caution came out, it wasn't that many laps left, and so I didn't feel good on the short run. But I knew I was going to have to push the car and be aggressive or like that run to maintain and get a good jump. And sure enough, I mean, surprisingly, the car swung my way and we figured something out and made it stick and got on with it and got a good lead and maintained it and was able to keep in front of the guys that were, probably quicker at times than I was. So just lucky that we were there to get the jump, get the lead, and even at the caution, when the caution came out, we weren't having to fight for position. That was big. We were able to get on, get our rhythm going, and just pull away.
Well, Joshua, finally we go to another track that fits right near our wheelhouse. And I mean, I don't wish it upon everyone, but hopefully we have Jeff Wright. We've seen some competition between you two at Bristol. What's in store for us at that racetrack?
I mean, nothing against the guys that are racing. Everybody here has got talent. But when we have drivers like Jeff Wright, AJ, Alex, Bailey, Bailey and Alex, they had some rough nights. So, it sucks for them, and they could have been up here racing, definitely for sure. But like Jeff and AJ and them, Adam, guys that you usually see up front most every race, when they're not here, it feels good to win. Do not get me wrong, but when they're not here and you're, not racing against them, and it's when you do race against them and win, that's a bigger reward for me personally. Not saying anything against these guys, because it was tough tonight too. That was definitely tough for sure. But we know how Jeff Wright is, especially. So way his racing is and how good he is on track, especially Bristol coming up. I think it's Bristol, if I'm ain't mistaken. So I could be wrong. I may be thinking about the NASCAR circuits. But anyway, it's going to be tough. We'll see how it goes, and just hope we can come out with another win. We'll see.
Well, finally, Joshua, is there anyone that you'd like to thank for tonight's victory?
I mean, obviously, shout out to the admins. Shout out to them putting on a good league. It's always every single week, hopefully Jeff's feeling better. I know he's one of the admins up there, and he's been out a couple of weeks, so hopefully he's feeling better and hopefully having a good time in Phoenix. And thank you guys up in the booth for doing an awesome job, doing with the broadcasting as always. And shout out to AB Motorsports, because Antron Brown, I told him about the sponsor on the car, and he was super excited about the win at Richmond. So glad to get another win with the sponsor on the car, and hopefully we can continue to keep getting wins with this on the car and just dominate.
Well, Joshua, we thank you for your time. We look forward to next week as well, and we'll take you back down let you celebrate here on this victory, and we'll see you next Saturday.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you.
Joshua Banks, number 35, and the sponsor on the car, AB Motorsports. Well, he gets another victory for him here. That's 2-time, and you said he tied Bailey Turner on the all-time win list here at SNR after this victory tonight, so congrats to him.
Yeah, congrats to him, no doubt about it. He's one of the faster drivers in this series, and he's especially good at the short tracks, the smaller tracks. That's his third win at a track lower than 1.25 miles. His other tracks, his wins were at Richmond and Bristol, short tracks. This is the first time he's been branching out to winning one of those intermediate tracks, but like he said, it is a little bit different for him, like he said, when some of the bigger drivers aren't in the field for whatever reason, but we should have that fixed next week at a much more popular track when we go to Bristol, in Bristol, Tennessee. So that should be a fun one. It was a very good race last season. The Gen 4 cars, Xfinity cars should be no different, as next week Bristol, Pocono, then we get another off week at the end of March, then Kansas, Milwaukee, Iowa, Atlanta, Old Atlanta to close out the regular season, and then the top drivers get into that 6-race chase. Have an off week to prepare for that. Then Auto Club, North Wilkesboro, Talladega, our one and only our last race in a next-gen car at our second super speedway of the season, at Vegas Nashville Super Speedway, in the season finale in Phoenix, where NASCAR is right now in real life, on June 15th.
Well, I hope you guys can join us for all of them here on V-Speed. We'll bring you flag-to-flag coverage all season long. If you did enjoy tonight's broadcast, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a single race. We go live, days it in with Y at this point, so you can catch all kinds of different league action. And tomorrow night, the Sunoco Cup Series will be live at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. That begins at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But for everybody here at V-Speed that made this possible, Adam Baker that does all the work he does in the background, the graphics, the streams, all the stuff, it's a lot of work. Alec Martinez joining me on Tuesday nights. Connor, you here on Saturdays. Our other two producers, Eddie Smith and Morgan Cook. We got Christian Hill, Alex Gagnon. There's just so many names that are making this all possible. We thank all of those guys as well. And this is Bradley Cooper telling you to have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
2 to go. Is anybody to try to maybe make a third one?
This race still very undecided.
The bottom lane just doesn't have enough cars now. The rules have been reversed.
They're running out of time, and they know it.
How about Noah Mikulski in the L3? He did easy in this battle. The bottom surges to the inside. Now pulls even with Hutton off of turn number 2.
900 horsepower at their feet.
Banks doesn't have a push. Hutton, can he do it off of turn 4? Right, giving him another push. They stack him to the outside. At the line, checkered flag. Banks surges to the bottom.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count after 37.
Oh!
The ball gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
comes
Slack.
Slack.
A push from the 33.
It's a drag